Om Namo Narayana, and welcome back. Today we're looking at chapters 113 and 114 in the Ramayana. 113 is called Bharata's Return Journey. Thereafter Bharata, carrying those sandals on his head, joyfully boarded the chariot along with Shatrughna, Vashishta, Vamadeva, and Jabali, who could do great penance, and other ministers, well known for their sagacious advice, proceeded in front of Bharata. Then all of them went round the great Chitrakuta mountain and proceeded towards Mandakini river, travelling eastwards. Seeing thousands of pretty minerals, Bharata travelled by its side along with his army. Not very far away from Chitrakuta mountain, Bharata saw the hermitage where sage Bharadwaja lived. Then that very intelligent Bharata, after reaching the hermitage of Bharadwaja, alighted from the chariot and prostrated at the feet of the sage. The overjoyed Bharadwaja asked Bharata, "O lad, have you accomplished the task? Have you met Rama?" Bharata replied to Bharadwaja, "When requested by me as well as his guru Vashishta, that Rama with stable prowess being very pleased, told the sage, I will honor the promise given to my father and live in the forest for 14 years. When he was told like this, the greatly eloquent and intelligent Vashishta replied to Rama, who was an expert orator, using words of great significance, O intelligent one, with pleasure give your sandals decorated by gold, for looking after the welfare of Ayodhya. When Vashishta told him like this, Rama stood facing east, wore the sandals, and removed them, and gave them to me for the sake of the kingdom. Taking leave of that great person called Rama, I am now returning to Ayodhya, holding these auspicious sandals." Having heard those auspicious words from Bharata, the great soul Bharadwaja replied with words which were very auspicious. "O tiger among men, you are the best among those who possess great character, and it is not surprising that noble qualities have established themselves in you, like water poured out reaches the lower level of land. That greatly valorous King Dasartha has not died because he has a son like you who loves Dharma and acts according to Dharma." Hearing the suitable words spoken by that great sage Bharadwaja, Bharata saluted him with folded hands and clasped his feet, and took leave from him and commenced on his journey. That great Bharata, after going round the sage Bharadwaja again and again, along with his ministers, started towards Ayodhya. The vast army of Bharata marched ahead of him along with chariots, carts, horses, and elephants, starting towards their home. When they crossed the river Yamuna, which was wreathed by waves, again and again they beheld the auspicious water of the Ganga. Bharata, along with his relations and army, crossed the river Ganga, filled completely with clear and pure water, and entered the town of Sringaberipura, and from that city beheld the town of Ayodhya in the distance. Then, seeing the city of Ayodhya, which was not having its father or brothers, Bharata was filled with grief and said to his charioteer, "O charioteer, see that ruined Ayodhya which is not shining, is insignificant, and without joy, and is desolate and silent." Thus ends chapter 13. Chapter 14 is called Bharata Returns to Ayodhya. That great Lord Bharata, riding on a chariot which produced deep and gentle sounds, soon entered the city of Ayodhya. He saw in that city a large number of cats and owls, with crouched men, and elephants, and looking like a dark night having gloom and not shining. It looked like the darling wife of the enemy of the moon god Rohini, who is exceedingly bright, which was affected by Rahu the planet in ascendant, and was not having any shine, and looking like night. It further looked like a great stream flowing from the mountain, emaciated, whose waters have become almost dry and greatly agitated, the birds surrounding, which are scorched by the sun, and whose big and small fish, as well as alligators, have perished. Ayodhya was like the sacrificial fire, which rises into a golden smokeless flame when oblation is poured in it, but later gets poured out. It was like an army in a great battlefield where armor is scattered, with injured elephants and horses, with scattered chariots and flags, and with slain warriors. It was like a sea which rose with foam, and roaring sounds dispersed by a gentle breeze becoming silent. It was like a sacrificial altar from where the fire had gotten extinguished after the offering of oblations, and the priests along with their sacrificial implements have deserted it, and the chants have been discontinued. It was like the wife of a bull longing for the bull which has left it standing in the middle of the cow pen dispirited, and not eating any grass. It was like a pearl necklace which was stripped of excellent rubies and gems, which were shining and greatly smooth. It was like a falling star, with its great lustre diminished, and fallen from its place, due to its loss of meritorious deeds, and reaching the earth. It was a creeper of the forest, fully laden with flowers, and surrounded by bees, making melodious noise at the end of autumn, when it was ravaged by a spreading forest fire and completely withered away. With its shops and markets closed and without any activity, and with its merchants in a daze, Ayodhya looked like the clouds obstructing the view of the moon and stars of the sky. It was like a drinking place, not cleaned with broken drinking glass, emptied of excellent wine, and with dead drunkards lying all around. It was like a cistern made for storing water, but broken, collapsed, fallen down, and sunk, covered with broken jars and pots, with the water completely dried up. It was like a big stretched bowstring, with nooses at both ends, which were severed by a powerful man with his arrows and lying on the ground. It was like a mare whipped by a skilled horse rider, driven to the battle, but killed by the enemy army and lying on the ground. It was like a large body of water full of large fish and tortoises, but dried up completely when its banks had been cut down, surrounded by dried water lilies. It was like the body of a man in distress, scorched because he had been denied application of oil, who was not wearing any ornaments, and overtaken by sorrow. It was like the sun which had entered into the circular orb of thick and black clouds during the rainy season, and so was obscured from vision. Bharatha, the great son of Dasartha, sitting in one of those excellent chariots, addressed the charioteer and said, "Why is it that now in Ayodhya we do not hear the deep and sonorous sound of singing and the playing of musical instruments as we did in earlier days? Why is it that the breeze does not carry the scent of agaro, the fragrance of flower garlands, and the intoxicating smell of wine? Why is it that after Rama has departed to the forest, we are not able to hear the sound of excellent carriages, the pleasing sound of neighboring horses, trumpeting sounds of elephants and rut, and the big sound made by chariots? Why is that affected by the going away of Rama? People are not going out of town, nor are they wearing pretty garlands, and they're not observing the festivals. The luster of the city also has departed along with my brother, and Ayodhya is not shining now, and is like a rainy night during the days of a waning moon. After Rama left Ayodhya, the youth are in great distress, and are not using perfumes of sandal and agaro, or making use of flower garlands. When will my brother return? And when will the great festival come, bringing great joy to Ayodhya like the rain in autumn? Well-dressed youth and people bearing themselves in high style, who used to roam about in groups, are not to be seen in the great avenues of Ayodhya any more." Speaking like this, Bharatha entered the house of his father, and that house without the king was like a cave without a lion. Then the self-possessed Bharatha, seeing the private apartments of the king without its usual splendor, felt like the day had been deprived of the sun, and shed tears. And thus ends chapter 114, speaking from a purely writer's point of view, of which I am. Yeah, that was an interesting description. Yeah, I got some issues with it in terms of literary value, but it wouldn't be the first or last time. Anyways, life is miserable. Life is hard, life is tough, and just, it sucks. But let's see where the story goes. We are basically on the last 4 chapters. I think it's, 15, 16, 17, 18 chapters now? Let me just double check. 19 chapters. So we're on the last little bit. I have no idea what's about to happen. And until next time, thank you for watching. Hope all is good with you. Please if you'd like to support me, there's a website down below of my writings. Check out some of my books. Also, feel free to reach out to me privately or publicly. And until next time, Jai Shri Krishna.